Hey, grade 12. This video is going to be focusing in on the very last part of a monster scene, Act 2. I just want to start it with the themes, but the focus of today's video is Hamlet's big speech at the end of Act 2 and what is actually a very difficult soliloquy to understand. Just a reminder that we've got some key themes here. I wanted to point out a couple. One is madness. Hamlet's going to be putting on an antic disposition. He's going to pretend to be crazy, and he says antic disposition at the end of Act 1 to try and fool people so he can figure out if Claudius is really the one who murdered the king, as the ghost tells him to. The other one I want to focus in on is illusion versus reality. And in Act 2, you notice that there's a lot of spying going on. Ronaldo is sent to spy on Laertes. The king sends Rosencrantz and Guildenstern to spy on Hamlet. And again, Hamlet's pretending to be something he's not. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the last scene around line 540 of Act 2. And just to set it up a little bit before we get there, basically a group of traveling actors have come to the castle, and they're going to put on a play. And the play is The Fall of Troy. Now, if you know your Virgil, which is the story of the Aeneid, The Fall of Troy is a mythological story. And in this particular moment, Shakespeare is going to be drawing parallels and character foils. And we've talked about character foils before. So let's keep going. All right, so the story of the sack of Troy, if you remember Troy, it's where they have the big fake horse that comes in, and this was told in Virgil's Aeneid. And if you study history or English in university, you'll definitely have to read the Aeneid. So in that story, there's a king, his name's Priam, and his wife is Hecuba, and Hecuba and Priam desperately love each other. So notice the parallel between a king and a queen. We've got King Hamlet and Gertrude, and in this story, we've got Priam and Hecuba. So Hamlet's going to be asking for one of the actors to recite a speech from the Aeneid about Priam and Hecuba. They have a son named Paris. Okay, so Paris in this situation would be paralleled with, that's right, Hamlet. Okay, then you've got Achilles, and you've probably heard of him, and he's the father of Pyrrhus. So Paris kills Achilles. So just to remind you, Paris, right, the son of Priam and Hecuba, who are the king, kill this hero, Achilles. So Paris kills Achilles, and by shooting an arrow into Achilles' heel. Guess what? Someone is super mad. That's right. If we go back, you'll see this guy here, Pyrrhus, is really upset that his father Achilles is killed by Paris. So Paris shoots the arrow. Pyrrhus is super upset and wants revenge. Okay? So notice the fact that Shakespeare has created a story where there's a parallel of revenge, fathers being killed and the sons wanting to get revenge, just like Hamlet. So Achilles' son, Pyrrhus, wants to avenge the death of his father. So just like Hamlet wants to avenge the death of King Hamlet, Pyrrhus wants to avenge the death of his father Achilles. So there's definitely a motive here, and there's the motive for revenge is paralleled between the two. But this is the key point. When Pyrrhus gets the opportunity to kill Priam, the king, he raises his sword in the air, but then he delays. Now here's the thing: he eventually does kill him. He eventually does kill Priam, but he delays, and I'll showing you that part a little later on. So that's the thing. Why the delay? So let's look at what this story is going to set up. There's an assassination of a king by an avenging son. It's witnessed by Hecuba. And the question is, does Hecuba mourn for Priam like Gertrude mourns for King Hamlet? Remember, Hamlet doesn't think that Gertrude has mourned very long, whereas Hecuba, she mourns for months and months and months. All right, so why the delay? This is perhaps the most important question of Hamlet. Why doesn't Hamlet immediately kill Claudius? Remember, Pyrrhus delays in killing Priam. Claudius will soon be hesitating how he deals with Hamlet. The longer this story goes on, the sooner Claudius is going to figure out, hey, I think Hamlet knows that I killed his dad. So not only does Claudius delay, but so does Hamlet. And the reason Claudius delays is because of the love Gertrude has for her son. Claudius knows that Gertrude loves Hamlet, and that is the reason he delays, or at least one reason. The other reason is just he's a calculating political jerk. Okay, so let's think here. Who's seeking revenge in the story of Hamlet? And some of these facts may be new to you. How are they different and how are they similar? So, Hamlet's seeking revenge for the death of his father. Laertes is going to be seeking revenge. And we already know that young Fortinbras is seeking revenge for the death of his father, King Norway, at the hands of King Hamlet. So here's the thing that I wanted to focus on. And what I want you to do is pause this video and make sure that you go to the section in the play that I would refer to as the Hecuba speech. It starts around line 545, Act 2, Scene 2. Please read the Hecuba speech from line 45, and if you want to cheat, it's on page 125. Okay? So pause, hit the pause button, and read that speech. It starts with, "Now I am alone." And this is one of the speech options that you can choose for your recitation assignment. So go for it, page 125. All right, so I'm assuming that you press pause and you've read the speech and you're probably thinking, what the heck was that, Mr. Hurley? Let's go through it. So what's Hamlet's problem? Basically what's happened is he asked the actor to recite a speech. The actor in the play recited his speech and he was amazing. He had so much emotion while playing Hecuba. Hecuba's grieving for the loss of her husband Priam. And Hamlet's watching this and he realizes a couple things. Number one, Hecuba grieves a lot longer for Priam than Gertrude grieved for his father. But most importantly, how can an actor show so much emotion while for something that isn't real, that's fake, while in reality, Hamlet can't show not enough emotion to act upon his need for revenge. While Hamlet has very little ability to act upon his emotions, here's this actor really, really grieving over a fake story. So Hamlet admires the emotions of the actor at first, but he's struggling to feel the passion he needs for revenge. And when Hamlet says, he says, "In all for nothing, for Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba?" What he's saying there in line 554 is, what is the actor to Hecuba, or Hecuba to him? Meaning, that's not Hecuba's real son, or that's not Hecuba, but he still feels such incredible emotion, and Hamlet's jealous of that emotion. So remember, Shakespeare's always putting character foils up against Hamlet, whether it be Laertes, young Fortinbras, and in this case, the actor portraying Hecuba. So Hamlet gets mad at himself for his lack of emotion, even though he has a just cause. The cause is his father's been murdered, yet he can't act. Whereas before, Hecuba is able to show great emotion, but there's no just cause. It's a play, right? So he admires that emotion, but then he gets upset at the fact that he can't act. The actor can show passion where Hamlet cannot. So this soliloquy, the second major soliloquy of the play, is the key thing you need to learn about it. Is it by the end of it, he generates the passion needed to commit the murder of Claudius. And by the end of this play, he says, that I'll have grounds more relative than his. The play's the thing where I'll catch the conscience of the king. Essentially, he makes a plan to use the play to catch Claudius's guilt, and then he's excited to potentially kill Claudius. And this leads to the plan. Okay, just a reminder, the plan is that the fake play is going to have some lines of script that Hamlet's going to write in it, and he's going to insert that script. And then he's hoping to watch Claudius's reaction. And he's thinking Claudius will show a guilty reaction, and that will give Hamlet the final justification he needs to murder Claudius. I wonder, what do you think of that plan? It's a little bit ridiculous, but so are many things. Just a reminder about spying. We've got the example of Hamlet spying on Claudius. We've got Polonius sending Rinaldo to spy on Laertes. We've got Polonius spying on Ophelia with Hamlet. Claudius spies on Hamlet through Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. And then Claudius spies on Hamlet with Polonius. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back and we're just going to look at the Hecuba speech. And this is essentially it right here. Okay, so at the beginning, notice the change in emotion. What a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monster? This player here, the player is the actor portraying Hecuba, but in a fiction, so essentially the actor that's portraying a fictional story could force his soul to his own conceit. So basically could make it his face and all of his emotions with tears and a broken voice, all for nothing, meaning all of this emotion is all fake, and it's for Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him or he to Hecuba that he should weep for her? What would he do had he the motive and cue for passion that I have? And that's the key question. I wonder how this actor would behave if he had the motive that Hamlet has. He would drown the stage with tears. So he's essentially saying, man, if that actor had the motive that I did, he'd really put on a good show. Moving down, he asks, am I a coward? And the answer is, I think Hamlet would call himself a coward. Moving down, this most brave that I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words. And what he's saying is, all he does is talk, right? Unpack my heart with words. He's constantly talking about his emotions, but he's never doing anything about his emotions. Fee on it. So now he's saying, that's it. I'm sick of it. The plan is the play. The guilty creature sitting at a play. That guilty creature, that is the king, Claudius. Have by the very cunning of the scene, so he's going to rewrite the scene, will be struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malfactions, meaning the malfactions for murder. So essentially, he thinks the king is going to give it up and show that he's guilty of murder by watching this play. I'll have these players, meaning the actors, they're going to have them reenact something like the play that they'll watch. The play within the play will be a recreation of what he thinks happened to his father. The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, meaning the ghost may not be real, but he has to find out if it is. To assume a pleasing shape, perhaps out of my weakness and melancholy, as he is very potent with spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this, meaning I'll have more justification for killing the king than just the words of a ghost. The play is the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. So basically, the play within the play is the justification that will provide Hamlet with the reason to kill the king. So this is his second major soliloquy, and you've got a lot going on here. His emotions change from the very beginning, what a rogue and peasant slave am I, to the end when he's got this plan for how he's going to catch the conscience of the king. And you also have this reaction to the actor, his emotional outpouring for Hecuba. I hope this was useful to you, and good luck.